Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's Bendy and the Ink Machine video, we take a look at everything we know about Joey Drew. So far, Joey Drew has been a mysterious character we know very little about, and so in this video, we analyse the information we do have and make some assumptions and theories based on that to try and fill in the missing pieces of Joey's puzzle. Who is he? What was his plan? Is he alive or dead? All of these questions and many more will be addressed right here in today's video. But before we jump into this video, remember to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified every time a new video drops. Let's begin by taking a look at what we already know about Mr. Joey Drew. We know Joey was manager and owner of Joey Drew Studios, an animation studio that created popular cartoons featuring characters such as Boris the Wolf, Alice Angel, the Butcher Gang, and of course, Bendy the Dancing Demon. We also know that Joey started up the studio with his friend Henry over 30 years ago, but the two of them then fell out after Henry ended up doing most of the work.
Only 2 weeks into this company and already it's gotten interesting. Joey is a man of ideas. And only ideas. When I agreed to start this whole thing with him, I thought there'd be a little more give and take. Instead I give, and he takes.
Joey may have learned a valuable lesson from Henry's departure, the lesson of keeping your staff motivated, or at least trying to. Let's listen to Joey Drew's audio recording found within Chapter 3.
There's nothing wrong with dreaming. Wishing for the impossible is just human nature. That's how I got started. Just a pencil and a dream. We all want everything, without even having to lift a finger. They say you just have to believe. Belief can make you succeed. Belief can make you rich. Belief can make you powerful. Why, with enough belief, you can even cheat death itself. Now that is a beautiful and positively silly thought.
Notice how Joey repeats the phrases dreams and belief. He is trying to sound both inspirational and motivational towards his staff, promising success, riches, power, and even, just maybe, eternal life. It is likely these speeches would have been pumped out through the studio's audio system across the studio on a daily basis. This explains both why we often see speakers strung up, and also why Henry can hear characters such as Alice talking to him as he explores different areas of the workshop.
Ah, that should be plenty. Return them to me.
However, despite all these high horse ideals, we know Joey Drew hadn't changed all that much since he and Henry parted ways all that time ago. In fact, it seems like Joey only grew more egotistical and twisted as the years went by. In Chapter 4 we discover an audio log that proves Joey didn't believe any of what he was saying, or at least he didn't believe it for his workers. Rather, he had a ghostwriter scripting his motivational speeches in a bid to keep his employees working.
You just have to believe in yourself and remain honest, motivated, and above all, who you really are. Okay, let's stop right there. I can only do so many takes of this trash a day. And tell the guys in writing I want more use of the word dreaming in every message. Keep railing on that, get? Dreaming, dreaming, dreaming. People just eat up that kind of slop.
Why would Joey need to do this? Well, you see, Joey Drew Studios wasn't doing as well financially as people may have thought. What began as a simple animation studio had turned into something far, far bigger and more ambitious. The studio itself is massive, with many stories that eventually take Henry deep underground as we discover a toy factory, a research and design area, and even a partly constructed amusement park. Joey Drew had big plans for the Bendy franchise, however these plans had clearly gotten him into serious money problems. We can hear this mentioned by Sean Flynn in Chapter 3, as he comments on Joey's short temper.
And if he really wants to be so helpful, he could be telling me what I'm to be doing with this warehouse I got full of that angel whatchamacallit. And a scrap of that mess he said. You probably have to melt it all down to be rid of it all.
Not to mention the entire workshop is now shut down, and seemingly had been for quite some time. Joey's ambition cost him a lot of money and probably caused him mental anguish too, leading him to impose strict rules upon his staff, such as not getting paid unless certified sick by his own doctors, and also caring less and less about health and safety in order to save money wherever he could.
Whoever thought that these rummy pipes could hold up under this kind of strain? You know something about pressure I don't? Or he's some kind of idiot.
He then tried to offset all of this and raise up morale again with these hokey motivational speeches. We know staff morale was at an all-time low. There are many hints at this, but none clearer than here in Wally Frank's Chapter 3 audio recording.
I don't get it. Everyone's walking around here like Grandma just died. Nothing but angry faces everywhere. These people gotta lighten up.
The combination of financial problems and low staff morale may have been the catalyst for Joey Drew to come up with the concept of the ink machine itself. A machine that could be used to channel spells created through demonic alchemy in order to create inky real-life versions of the studio's beloved characters. Although it appears that Boris clones were the only successful true cartoon creation born out of the ink machine. I've covered this topic in other videos, but it appears Joey used workers from the studio in his experiments. Many of these workers became the tortured souls known only as the Lost Ones. Others, such as Susie Campbell, took on a more defined form of the characters they once portrayed on screen. In Susie's case, that was Alice Angel. And if the hints left by the Meatley are to be believed, the maintenance workers became the Boris clones, achieving a form far closer to their cartoon counterparts found in the Bendy cartoons. It is also possible Joey resurrected dead bodies found in the coffins around the studio, which then created the less formed enemies such as the Searchers. And of course we still have the possibility that Joey Drew is in fact Bendy himself. More on that later. Assuming the previous statements hold true, the question is now, why? Why would Joey invest in such technology? The answer is fairly simple. If Joey's plan was to create an elaborate amusement park based on the Bendy franchise, then he would be up against a host of other property-based theme parks. So how would Bendyland stand out from the crowd? Why, by creating living versions of the show's cartoon characters, of course. Imagine instead of meeting your favourite characters as people in costumes, you actually got to meet the characters themselves, albeit characters with the souls of humans trapped inside. But by keeping the shady witchcraft side of things a secret, Joey could create as many cartoon characters in real life as he wanted, and the park would be an enormous success, bringing Joey Drew both fame and fortune. And all this would take was to sell people on these fake dreams and beliefs. Joey asking for items for the ritual as a way to
Joey had each one of us donate something from our workstation to help appease the gods, Joey says. Keep things going.
We know Joey was a smooth talker and had a way of assuring people of his lies.
Who would have thought? Me having lunch with Joey Drew. Apparently times are tougher than I thought. For a moment there, I thought I'd be stuck with the check. But I gotta say, he wasn't at all what I expected. Quite the charmer.
And in the case of Alice Angel's original voice actress, Susie Campbell, even after removing her from a role she was infatuated with, Joey still managed to get her to be a part of his ink machine experiments, presumably promising Susie eternal life as Alice.
Now he wants to meet again tomorrow? Says he has an opportunity for me? I'll hear him out.
But this notion of eternal life was something Joey may have been pursuing too. To explain this theory, we need to make a few assumptions about who Joey Drew is. When looking at the posters found throughout the studio for classic era Bendy cartoons, we see the line, "Buy bonds." Bonds were a currency civilians could invest in during World War I and II as a way to finance military operations and other expenditure during wartime. This tells us that Joey's character was likely an American patriot who wished to aid the war effort in the 1940s. Couple this with the mysterious flash frame of the wheelchair Henry recalls at the end of Bendy Chapter 1, and we can assume that Joey Drew may have been a soldier in World War I who then went on to support the war effort at the advent of World War II. And this wheelchair then tells us that he was injured or fell critically ill as a result of his involvement in the war, and so could be searching for a way to live forever. The fact there was an infirmary on site at the studio is also telling and backs up this theory. Joey may have required around-the-clock checkups by an on-site doctor, as well as frequent medical attention. And this all feeds into our previous theories about Joey Drew becoming Ink Bendy, as Bendy has a limp and is an embodiment of pure evil, amassing all Joey Drew's worst traits, as well as seeking to destroy Henry, who walked away from him all those years ago. Although there is the chance Joey may not be Bendy, however there is certainly a lot of evidence to suggest he is, and this raises the question: did Joey write to Henry on his deathbed, then have his assistants submerge his body in the ink machine, to then be resurrected eternally as Ink Bendy after Henry shows up in response to the letter and kickstarts the ritual and Joey's rebirth in the process? I'll leave you all to consider that. And that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This has been a video explaining everything we currently know about Joey Drew, and also explaining some of my own theories around who he is. Of course, we don't know at this point. We've still got Chapter 5 to come, and hopefully we'll get a lot of answers with Chapter 5. But it's always fun making these theories and, you know, sort of spitballing ideas around. If you guys did enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, leave me a little comment down below, let me know what you think, and of course subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you all on the next one.